Yes, yes, people, what is good? It's Tapping Tobs here, back with another post-match reaction for your head top. Apologies for the change of scenery. As you can see, I'm back in my living room, annoyingly, because I wanted to do this outside the ground, but we had a couple of technical issues. But honestly, believe me, it could have been worse. I could have, sorry, been recording this to you from an iPhone or from a rubbish webcam because I thought I nearly lost my camera. But listen, that's a story for another day. Today, we have to talk about the football as per, yeah? Have to talk about the football as per. Spurs sobering 4-2 defeat to Brighton. Listen, before I get into the intricacies of what went right, what went wrong for Spurs, big up to Brighton. I think they had something like 10 players out. 10 players out, right? 10 players, deep that. 10 players injured. So yeah, I'm not going to come here on some salty thing. Listen, Spurs were nowhere near good enough tonight, and I'm going to explain why that was. But I have to give some credit to Brighton because it didn't look like they had 10 players missing today. Like, they really, really popped Spurs off the park. So many superlatives I could use. They blammed us, yeah. They spun us out of our socks. They popped us all over the gaff, man. They actually played some good football today. Like, it's mad. Yeah, Brighton had what, like 15, 16 attempts to our goal, right? They had 7 big chances. 7. That just shows you how threatening they were with the ball. Yeah, how intentional they were with the ball today, right? But it also shows you how easy it was for Brighton to get in out of defence, right? Because we were never going to stop Brighton from creating chances today. We could have been 4-0 down in the opening 20 minutes. Within 5 minutes, Vicario's already having to make mad saves, right? From Welbeck, from João Pedro, from Buonanotte, right? Like, he's having to make mad saves, bro. Like, we actually got popped, like popped. And sometimes you just got to hold your hands up. Honestly, you just got to hold your hands up and say that the better team won, yeah? We didn't deserve to beat Everton a couple of days ago, right? But we got the 3 points, important. But we needed to learn, play better, right? Yes, Brighton are missing players, but they're still a good side with a good manager who's similar to ours in a sense where he will get his team playing his style, even when there's absences throughout the team. It's something that we've praised and Postecoglou for this season. Roberto De Zerbi will do something similar. Obviously, they've not had the results that we have had as of late, right? But listen, they turned up today, yeah? They won the 50-50s. They won the midfield battle. They created way more opportunities than us. They put pressure on us big time, and they exposed our frailties, which is something that I can say that we didn't do enough of until the game was basically done, right? So big up to Brighton. Fantastic goal from Estupinian. Crazy, crazy goal. Crazy finish. Crazy finish from Hinselwood as well. He did really well today. They played well. But that's on Brighton. Let's talk about Spurs. Yeah, let's talk about Spurs. I hope you stayed, right? Because I wanted to just get that out of the way. I didn't want to be, oh, it's all about Spurs. Because you have to give credit to Brighton, yeah? But I want to talk about Spurs because I felt like, to a man, nobody could walk off that pitch and say, I've had a really good game today, apart from Vicario. Nobody, yeah? From minute 1, we looked off it, bar a couple of nice passages of play in the first half. We couldn't really lay a glove on Brighton, right? And this is a half-baked Brighton side, mind you, yeah? I think we only created, I would say, maybe 2 openings. Brennan Johnson, clean through on goal. Don't know what he was doing with that chance. And I think there was a chance where Papi Matar just headed over, right? That was it. Son was anonymous, pocketed. He looked jaded today, but to be honest, listen, man, you got to rise it. You got to rise it. And today he was bad. He was really bad. He was really, really bad today. And it's not just Son. I think as a team, we were just poor. Collectively and individually, we were poor. As a collective, we did not put anywhere near enough pressure on Brighton. Yeah, from their defence to their midfield, there was not enough pressure. We let them play through us quite easily. We didn't really pen them in as we had done to most teams this season. Yeah, the counter press wasn't anywhere near as effective today. The dueling wasn't anywhere near as effective today, right? It just wasn't effective. Richarlison was poor today. More offsides than shots, probably. Yeah, more offsides than legitimate shots. Yeah, poor today. Really, really poor. Right? Kulusevski was really poor today. Don't know what on earth he was doing for that penalty as well. And I think it was even him that was quite sloppy in the lead up to one of their chances in the first half as well. He was really, really poor today. He was poor. He was poor. And he, again, as I said, collective and individual, not just him. The attack as a whole, Brennan Johnson, he was probably the most lively player today, but the end product is just still janky, bro. It's still janky. And this is what you're going to get with Brennan Johnson. You're going to get like a player who is dangerous, but you want some potency to go with that danger. So as you can see, I'm not nitpicking at anyone in particular. As a collective, they were poor. The front three, they stunk today. The midfield stunk. Sarr was poor. Sarr was really poor. It's not just Kulusevski, it's not just Brennan. Sarr was poor today. Yeah, wasn't able to progress the ball as well as we needed him to. Wasn't able to duel as well as we needed him to. He was not good. He was not good today, right? And it's no surprise that he got hooked. It's no surprise. But it could, truth be told, it could have been anyone. It could have been any of those players that could have been hooked and nobody could have complained apart from Vicario. Could have been any of them. We just don't really have the bench. Even the defence. I mean, before we get onto the defence, Højbjerg, man, like just hiding in build-up constantly, giving away the ball, getting bypassed. He's just not what you want in your starting number 6. He just isn't. He just isn't. He does not offer Tottenham any security. In a makeshift back line that we're having to play, right? In a makeshift starting 11 where we're missing 4 starters. We're missing Maddison, Van de Ven, Romero, Bissouma, right? We're then missing Bentancur on the bench. We're missing Perisic on the bench. Even Oliver Skip, that I don't really want starting, that we played against Everton. We couldn't even play him today because he's injured. So when these absences are there, you want senior players like Højbjerg to step up. But whenever he comes into this team to start, he's like a bag of rebels. Sometimes he'll be good, sometimes he'll be shit. And more often than not, it's sometimes maybe shit. And today, sometimes maybe shit. Just isn't at the level. Not the worst player in the world. I like Højbjerg as a person. Think he speaks well, but he's not good enough to be playing for Tottenham. And yet, we're in a position where he has to play. And this is the problem. So volatile in these performances, and he's consistent at being reckless and a liability in the midfield. It's weird for someone who can make progressive passes, for someone who actually understands the game of football. Why can't you execute? But it's not just him. Pedro Porro, I thought he had a poor game today. I know he played that pass into Johnson in the first half. And listen, big up to Porro for getting his assist, another assist in the second half, but it's too little too late. I felt he was a bit sloppy with the ball today. Defensively, he was getting worked on his side, right? João Pedro gave us a tough time today, gave us a really, really tough time. And Welbeck was causing problems too, right? I thought Davies did well for his goal, but defensively, I didn't think he had a good game today, but it wasn't just him. Emerson Royal, I thought he had a questionable game as well. I don't think any of them did well. Even Destiny had his, I would say probably that might be top 2 worst games I've seen for Destiny in a Spurs shirt this season. I mean, he did kick on towards the final 15 minutes, as did a couple of our players. But like I said, it's too little too late. It's too little too late. It was just not a good performance collectively in terms of what we were able to do with the ball and without the ball. And individually, it was just too many poor performances. Too many poor performances, yeah? I think when we're going to play the style we're going to play, apologies because this is a longer one, when we're going to play the style we're going to play, right, where we're leaving all this space in behind, where we're trying to create a central overload, we actually have to do something with our shape. And what I mean by that is when we have the ball, we actually have to try and pass the ball through Brighton, play through them. When we don't have the ball, we have to try and contain Brighton. What's the point playing such a high line if you're not going to put pressure on the opposition? If you're not going to put pressure on Brighton's defenders, if you're not going to put pressure on Brighton's midfielders, you may as well not play that aggressive. What's the point? There was just too much space. And I think maybe the players, they were not executing what Ange Postecoglou wanted today. And I think that's probably the case. Probably the case. Could we have gone a little bit compact in the first half when we saw how easily they were slashing us? Yeah, probably. But should we have done better with the ball for all that possession we had? Absolutely, but we didn't. Sterile possession. It was only until the second half that we actually got shit cracking. Genuinely. Big up to Veles as well, man. I'm really happy for him. Young G, having to come off the bench. He's never started a game for Spurs, so I'm happy he came off the bench and he scored, right? Happy with his impacts. Lo Celso, happy with his impact. I thought he came off the bench and did well, man. And I think that's probably mistakes that Ange Postecoglou made. After that first half, you should have rung in the changes, man. Lo Celso should have come on at halftime. To be honest, Lo Celso should have started the game. I'm not really sure why he's not starting that game of football. I felt this way against Everton as well. I felt like Lo Celso should have started against Everton. I wanted Sarr in the 6 and I wanted Lo Celso to start in the midfield. And I feel like, obviously now with Kulusevski, another suspension, another player that's going to be missing against Bournemouth, annoyingly. But Lo Celso, please rise. Please rise and try and fill in adequately. It's going to be a tough game. We're going to be missing a lot of players, but listen, no rest for the wicked and no sympathy from me, man. Just get the job done and win. Yeah? Nobody's going to feel sorry for you, boys. Just get the job done and win. Bounce back, because today was a real blamming for, I would say, a good 75% of that game. Yeah? 4-2 makes it more respectable. And to be honest, the last 15 minutes, we could have scored a couple of goals. We had the Destiny chance. We had Brian Hill. We had Pedro Porro. We had Son. We had Lo Celso who hit the post. Like, we had chances, man. Chances. But it is what it is, man. I think we deserve to lose the game tonight. So you're not going to get any complaints from me. Ain't going to get any complaints from me. And even Brian Hill as well. Like, Brian Hill, another player. Like, he looks dangerous. He came on. I thought he did okay today. But again, my consistent issue with Brian Hill is I don't feel like you're going to create or score goals for Spurs. No matter how dangerous he looks, I don't feel like you're going to create a goal or Spurs. Whenever he gets on the ball, it looks lively. But then I'm like, hang on a second. We're not going to score from this. We're not going to get he's not going to get an assist from this. He's not going to get a shot off that's actually going to bust net. Sign some players in January, please. It's another wake-up call. We need centre-backs and we need reinforcements either in attack, definitely in attack, and maybe in the midfield. We need to bring in some players. But people, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the performances. Let me know your thoughts on the individuals as well, who had a good game, who didn't have a good game, etc., etc. Yeah, drop them in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn your post notifications on. And until then, take care, peace out, and up the Spurs. Lastly, big up to some of my nearest and dearest friends from uni as well that I was hanging out with before the game. You know, a couple of drinks. Actually put me in a good mood before the game. Obviously, was not expecting the game to go the way it went, but big up to you guys. You know who you are for making my time special earlier in the day.